Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Mazezoke speaking to us today, Friday, the 11th of December 2020. I hope that each and every one of us is doing all right. And as you all are aware, I am just doing my usual Friday hangout with you, everyone that has been following me. And many of you, will be watching me from YouTube, and many of you will be watching me from Facebook. Now, you can see the title today. Some of you, when you come out flying, you just want to know why is it that we do not have much something complimentary to say or discuss over the week. But if you actually ask yourself, you would know that there is nothing complimentary happening in the country within the week that could form the basis of discussion. And if we are truthful to ourselves, we could actually see that something isn't right somehow as a people. Having said that, therefore, I would want now to state and make the following. If you are watching me from YouTube, and you could state where you're watching me from and on which platform. Obviously, I will know which platform because when I look at the comment section, it shows me which platform you are from. You're watching me from. If you could give the video a like, if you could share it so that others can join you, so that we have a very fruitful conversation this evening. Okay, let me start by saying, as the topic today suggests, you can see that the topic is obviously my hangout with you. That is a hangout with Mazes. Okay. My topic says a nation where thieves faint. I mean, if you have read the dailies or watched news over the week, you would have seen where I'm coming from. That we are a nation where thieves faint when you catch them pants down. It is a nation where sycophants, those who want money from politicians, praise failure because all they want is for their men of low character to be in power, and they praise them for the crumbs that they drop for them. This is also a nation where leaders steal the future of their children, and politicians loot like there is no tomorrow. Think about it. How come this is a nation that, since we've been growing up, all we hear is that this nation has got potential? There is a notion of difference between having potentials and living your potential, because what we've been doing is we've been hearing about potential, 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 potential. But before I do that, I would want to inform us that actually I lost my brother. Brother Chima is okay. To the hands of death. He actually mourning as I speak to you. And I will say, may your soul rest in peace. I would continue by saying that you all have seen Mena. Mena, if you don't know, was the former pension chief who is being tried for stealing pension funds. And we saw him collapse in court on Thursday. That was yesterday. Mr. Mena was being tried by anti-graft agency, that is the EFCC. and which closed its gates on Wednesday after they called 9 witnesses. And if you remember that Wednesday, Mr. Maynard actually had escaped twice. And the last time, last week, I played us a video how he was caught. So for those of you who have, let me see if I still have that video. I think I no longer. Oh, okay. I think I might still have the video. Let me play us the video of when he was caught and brought back to Nigeria.
It is the arrival of the former chairman of the defunct Pension Reform Task Team, Mr. Abdulrasheed Maina. He's escorted to a waiting police vehicle upon arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. Before being driven out of the airport, the commissioner in charge of Interpol speaks on the extradition process.
The Interpol is just back from Niamey, Niger Republic, to extradite a fugitive that is wanted by the EFCC. And Mr. Abdulrasheed Abdullahi Maina is brought back to Nigeria. And we are acting under the instruction of the Inspector General of Police, whom the other law enforcement agencies applied to him.
Now, he started running, okay? He started running. He ran away from Nigeria and went to his maternal home in the Niger Republic, and he was eventually arrested, brought back to Nigeria, went to court. Now, why is it that every single time that they steal your money, they will be very healthy when they are stealing? The moment you start coming after them, they all faint to faint. And here we have a video when he fainted. Actually, he fainted. And you ask yourself, why do they all faint only when they are asked to come and defend themselves? And here he is, here he is fainting, basically, or rather feigning to faint.
So they can meet them. Because that is court security. Let them direct you to the medical section. You can call the judge, doctor to come and check.
Okay, so you can see that then what they are discussing now is if they could call the medical personnel to come in, and they continued. You think this is just, I was arguing with someone, so he was saying, no, Maz, you show him empathy. Maybe he actually wasn't feeling fine. I said, well, I don't have any issue if he wasn't feeling fine. But when they were allegedly stealing the money that was meant for our development, people, pension people, your father, your mother, my mother, your sister, my sister, our siblings who have worked, and it's time to end their pension, and someone basically stole their pension, and he's being called to come and give account, and he's fainting. And this is just joke taken too far. Look at him again. Behaving this way. He's not alone. We have history in this country. You were all here when Professor Pondi, a professor, was asked to account for what they've spent in NDDC, and he fainted. When Senator Godswill Ababio was talking, and we joke about it off the mic, but these are men who basically are asking, you ask them questions, they faint. And here we have again,
fainted in October of
for some of us
2016.
who do not know the history of them fainting. I will try to play us a clip.
Balogun fainted. In October of 2016, Femi Fani-Kayode fainted. May 2018, Olisa Metu fainted. July 2018, Ayo Fayose fainted. Now, December of 2018, Rita Ofili Ajumogobia fainted. January 2019, Dino Melaye fainted. July 2020, Keme Ponde fainted. Now, the question is, who will faint tomorrow?
It appears to be a joke, and they say, who will faint tomorrow? And people keep laughing, who will faint tomorrow? And you ask yourself, why? Who will faint tomorrow? Anyway, on that note, I would ask our good brother and pastor, Odumeje, to tell us what the rest of the year have in stock for us.
This December shall be a December that God shall decorate you with money.
So if they pardon me, if they collect you with money, please collect. Is it cream it? If they collect you with money, cream it. That's. I mean, you can't get angry enough. You can't get angry enough for these people, because wherever you look, you think it's a joke. Wherever you look, nothing is being taken serious. Here we are, a nation where sycophants, they praise failure. You have your president who is from the Northwest. He cannot protect the people of Northwest. Yet, the people of Northwest, and entirely, in some cases, the people of the North, are the one, just trying to protect him. In the last couple of weeks, all we've been hearing is this issue of, he couldn't appear before the panel, or you don't have the right for the House of Assembly to pull him or to ask him to come to the National Assembly. This is a useless argument going back and forth. A useless argument going back and forth. Then you ask yourself, why are we this way? Why are we this way, people? Sometimes I look at these things and it really gets me, and I'm thinking something is wrong, obviously, with us collectively as a people. Because you have a president who have sworn on oath to defend the nation that he had contested an election 3 times and won on the 4th time. 3 times. 2003, 2007, 2011, and 2015 he won. You ask yourself, what is it that he was, or rather he had in stock? What was the reason why he was actually contesting in the first place? Because when you look at all these things, you just keep wondering to yourself, why are we where we are? Why does it appear that incompetence is the order of the day and sycophants are running helter-skelter, trying to impress people who do nothing but to make sure that you and I remain perpetually impoverished? I keep using the same narrative and I keep using the same argument for us, because when we look at it, there is no single governance happening, be it in state, be it in local government, be it any single place. Why won't I? Avinu Chai saying, why am I laughing? I say, because I can't cry. I can't, because, you know, the level of insanity makes you, the only thing you can think of is find a way, you know, not to get depressed, because there is no iota and there is nothing happening that will make you, you know, there is no succor. Let me put it this way. Again, I ask, is Nigeria working? No, Nigeria is not working. Let me go to Plus TV and let them also show us that Nigeria is not working. This is not my argument, but again, this is argument that I've been conversing for so long as well.
I'm asking a very pertinent question. Is Nigeria working for you? Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, knew the solutions to Boko Haram till he finally became president. He asked ex-President Jonathan to resign because of insecurity. He cried empathetically. He promised to end Boko Haram in 3 months. But now, he's telling us he's done his best to arm the military. Why isn't he resigning? Governor Fashola knew the solutions to providing stable power supply till he became Minister of Power, and darkness pervaded the land. After trying hard and giving excuses like he only plays a supervisory role, the ministry was assigned to someone else. Power grid, still they collapse. The NSAS protests were tagged insurrection. In fact, someone said Aisha Yusufu ought to be in jail for instigating violence. Then farmers were beheaded in Borno. Same person asked Aisha Yusufu to lead a protest. Aren't these people supposed to forbid hypocrisy? Is Nigeria working for any Nigerian today? From leaders hoarding food for the poor, receiving kickbacks from government contracts, to farmers needing permission to go to their farms. Is Nigeria working for you? Why is Zamfara's gold for Zamfara and Niger Delta oil for Nigeria? Why is Hisba destroying alcohol, but their state governments receive federal allocation from monies received via taxation, including tax on alcoholic beverages? Why are some federal roads abandoned to bandits and kidnappers? Who is in charge of Nigeria's security? The president is talking tough this time. Most times, he's as shocked by the rest of us by the absence of good governance under him. Regardless of his campaign promises and the manifesto of his political party, Nigeria has rolled back in terms of development. From Naira continually losing its value to our recently launched locomotive trains breaking down in the middle of nowhere. Nigeria has to be working for some people, though. The government can do no wrong. To this set of people, their money isn't being stolen, even if the money is being borrowed, leaving debts for their own children to pay in future. Even if the leaders don't use public institutions, from sending their children to Ivy League schools abroad to getting medical treatment abroad, some people who have nothing and we need to donate money for their medical bills if they have a serious ailment, continue to hail the obvious lack of good governance till Nigeria happens to them. Then they get a little pissed. May Nigeria never happen to you. Say amen. We deserve better than the political class who go home with millions monthly to represent people who can't even afford to feed themselves. I am Olajumoke Alaode James. Nigeria is not working for me. Is Nigeria working for you?
I don't know about you. I mean, Nigeria is not working for me. The truth must be said, and we must keep saying the truth at all times. Nigeria does not work. Nigeria, I have to go back to, because I keep saying it's not, let's not delude ourselves thinking that the only thing we can do is to just criticize. But we can go back to history and say there was a time things were different, and at least these are the semblance of how things were before. If this becomes a starting point that we can begin to demand that certain things must be done, is it impossible to ask your fellow citizens, how do you want to govern yourself? Do you want to still be part of this entity? If yes, how do you want to govern yourself? People like me will say, let us go back to the regional government that helped us develop when we did, when development was the order of the day. But today, be that is may, things, as the late Professor Chinua Achebe would say, things are falling apart, and things has obviously fallen apart. For those that also think that things are basically working. Now there is a video I'll play to us. These are people. They consider themselves Buhari people. They are telling us this is what is happening to them in their own land. They cannot be saved. No one is saving them. Hear this information from their own mouths.
And we know also what is happening in this banditry. Every day, some people will be killed. Every day they are raped. If you ask Abdullah our data, I am just coming from Kurfi. And then one lady came to us telling us that she went to see her daughter who gave birth. And then the bandit came. They asked her to hold the baby and they raped the daughter. And then after, they asked the daughter to hold the baby and they raped the mother. This is what is going on every day. And a lot of some of these people are on tape. So when somebody is saying why he pretends he wants to protect something, there is nothing to protect. It's the reality on the ground, and it's a shame for us.
I cringe when I hear something like this. Why must you grab power if you cannot even use the power to protect yourself? If the North were to be the most secured place because you've been, being crazy, you've been going nuts because of power, it would have been understandable. But you talk about power, you take power, yet nothing. You're not putting it to any use. You're not putting it to a better use, because yet this is the same place that is being ravaged. You hear what the testimony he gave. How can you, I can't repeat the words he used. It's so sickening. How can we get humanity to act together, that we can no longer see ourselves as a divided people and begin to look at how we find solution to this madness happening in this place? Because when I look at these things, it breaks my heart as a dad. Imagine, just for 1 second, imagine you watching me now. This is your sister, this is your mom, and this is happening in a nation that ought to protect its own citizen. What is the benefit of being a Nigerian? It is absolutely none, unless you are part of the lootocrats, the looting class, the thieving elites, the politicians, unless you are part of them, because there is nothing, absolutely. It is so atrocious. Honestly, I cannot. I mean, someone says here is Alukwangwa. It's even more than that. It's even more than that, because it means the one in the head, the one who is at the head of, who is at the helm of affairs has failed. And he has failed abysmally. He was called to come to the Senate. He didn't go. He didn't care. Madness everywhere, madness. If you go to the state houses of assembly, it's a madness. If we come down to the east, it's the same. Everybody, both the politicians, all of them are mad. Everybody's just going crazy. The other day, I had what's it called? A video from Omar here, I think from from Abia State, saying that this is, I can't recall the position of the man. In government, obviously, spraying money to a pastor in his own office, spray money to him. And the governor fired him. Let's just watch the video. Watch the video. You think I'm kidding? We'll just watch the video.
This line you see appears to you with better. This is in Babuski. Babuski. Tata. Odogu. Abatadu. Abatadu. Chihuahua. Wanya. The whole time I am Snabai. Oto Snabai. If you get out by your
Now, this is a government official in his office in Abia State behaving like this. So you tell me, how would that be? How would this government official, would he be spraying this money if he had made this money genuinely? He's just spraying this money, just like that. Ask yourself this simple question. If he had made this money genuinely, do you think that he will be spraying this money? Do you think he will be spraying this money? But here we are. He is spraying that money. Now, he was fired, or rather he was suspended by the Abia State government. But what then happened is that even the Abia State governor that suspended him is now seen in another video where he's also dancing and money is being sprayed at him. So it means they are all one and the same.
On the floor, on the floor, on the floor, on the floor. Ikenga. Ikenga. Oh, Ikenga. You shall yet see your sunrise, Ikenga. You shall yet see your sunrise.
My first encounter with him was in December 1940.
He was a gifted man all round. There is no area you talk about or you walk about that he will not show you how it is done.
He was able to use cocoa, palm oil, and a few other products locally to run one of the fastest growing economies in the world.
That he was nicknamed MI Power.
Later, Dr. Michael Okpara
took over at a time when there were no institutions.
Even though the eastern region was the poorest of the regions at the time.
He was a pioneer. He had to lay the foundation for this. Whatever he sets his hands on, which is good, he will see to it that it is done properly.
From January till December, there was always a new project, that was commissioned.
He's a very pragmatic person, but always rooted in the people.
Like that, as if he was so, he was in such a hurry that he wanted to do so much.
Unfortunately, the Civil War dislocated so many things.
I personally felt extremely sad.
Because the ideas and the principle which they stood for, their successors in many cases didn't follow. And that's where we are seeing to today.
Onyayala 1 year. That's leave nobody behind. Philosophy of the Igbo community. That's what it built into.
The politics of then was politics of principles.
Truth was that he was an honest man. He was really a nationalist. He didn't build a house, even in his hometown. He was a dedicated Nigerian of Igbo extraction.
Down forever. We shall rise again. We shall yet see our sunrise. The Kenyan sunrise.
Now, reason why I play these is I want it to be on record. When I talk about people that inspire me, people that you want to dream to be like, not millionaires, not billionaires, but someone that touches life. Look at him. How many years ago he died? But till today, we still talk about the legacies, the footprint of M.I. Okpara. This is how you know a man. Not by the number of Rolls Royces you ride, or the number of your air fleet, your private jets, or how big and magnificent your mansion is. No, these things doesn't entice men like me. The question is, how do you leave this world a better place than you met it? M.I. Okpara, this video, if I tell you I haven't watched it more than 20 times, I must be lying to you. But because every single thing I've written, if you go to njenjemedia.com, I have written a lot about this man. I cannot talk about him enough. Because that's when you had people who were dedicated to governance. Where are men like him? Someone is asking. Michael Okoye is saying, where are men like him? Michael, there is no man. There is no man. All we have is men who come into office and spray money. All we have is men who tell us that they will build an airport in 36 months, and 5 years, 6 years down the line, what they are giving us is not fit for a bus terminal. What we have is men who will tell us that they will build second Niger Bridge and they will stay in office 5 years, and they can only boast of, oh yeah, we are grading the road that will lead to the second Niger Bridge. We only have men that are only interested in how many estates that they built in their place. For Christ's sake, I mean, are we all gone nuts? Where are the men? Where are the men? Something must be fundamentally wrong with us. How can someone in the person of a president be crying that he wanted to be given an opportunity to govern a nation, that he was an ex-military man, and suddenly people, not me, because I didn't give him my vote, but suddenly people voted him in. He's disappointing even those who voted him. Where are the men? My people watching me, this is not a time to blame ourselves, because this is a game. This is elitist game. This is them against us. Some of them have a private jet standby. If anything happens, they will run away. Man, this is... someone said what we have is man, not men. Men who only interest is how to drive G-Wagon. Oh, you see him this Christmas. He came back with 3 G-Wagons and everybody's shouting. Yet there is no road to his town. He could also use his own money to use interlock to do those roads, and that's not going to cost arm and a leg. We have men who now call themselves governors. I remember 2 years ago, they will come into our state and say, vote us in, they will do our roads. Yet we voted them in and we have no roads to go home. We only have men who only think of how many, oh, let us buy private jet. These are men that we have. We don't have men who think about the future generations. Let us begin to think, what are the principles of M.I. Okpara? I will do us a video that will talk about M.I. Okpara, his ideology, and what he wanted to do with Ojukwu for the eastern region before, sadly, the incident of 1960 happened, and since then, we have not recovered. Because suddenly after the war, men came up who only want nothing but affluence, who only want nothing but grabbing. You have your politicians, sadly, I call them politicians, and they offer us nothing. Some of you are complaining that when I played the other video, there was no audio. I think I have to go back there and play the videos again and explain once more. Sorry about that if there was no audio. I believe it's going to work this time around. Now, the background to that audio is that you have this prophet in Onitsha called Odumeja being sprayed money in government, in a government office in Abia State. And as a result of that video going viral, the man was relieved of his duties, or rather suspended. Now, the man who suspended him, another video came where the same man is being sprayed money. So tell me, where are the leaders? Let's watch the first video.
This is Babuski.
So exactly. So I hope this video was able, I don't know if you were able to hear the sound, but if not, I don't know again what to do. So this is the first video. Let's play if the system would, if that could, let me play the other second one that shows the governor of the state as well. But the bottom line here is, people, that something is abysmal, not correct with us. Something is entirely wrong with us. So let me play the other second one.
On the floor.
So now tell me, what's the difference between the one that sacks and the one that was sacked? What's the difference? Okay, so both of you engages in abuse of the currency. Both of you engages in the abuse of the currency. I will end this conversation this evening by playing a video that I got, which is the Nigerian Army training, and that training is being done in a language that will make you think twice.
Hey! Daga dama hada ta da hagun mu je! Bindigar ku kafadar ku! A daga bindigar sama tura ta gaba kafar dama ta koma bayan ta hagun mu je! Bindigar ku kafadar ku! Sufuli uku rundunar sojoji 153 1909 mai igiya uku Adamu Sanusi ya zo domin ka duba lafiyar sojoji da tsaftarsu. Bindigar ku a ƙasa. Bindigar ku kafadar ku. A daga bindiga sama a tura ta gaba kafar dama ta koma bayan ta hagun mu je.
Haka ake go. Aikin soja.
Bindigar ku kafadar ku. Na zo neman izini domin in juya da sojoji zuwa gidan hutu yallaɓoi. Mai hangen nesa tsaya tsit, saura mu juya dama zuwa gidan hutu je. Hagum, dama, hagum, dama, hagum, dama, hagum, dama, hagum.
Jeka oga, jeka. Jeka oga ku je bana son shiga gaban ku da yawa.
Mun baka mota. Juya zuwa hagun mu je. Soke bindiga a ƙasa. Abu da.
So you have seen it now. It is very clear and it is very obvious, especially the language being used. So the you ask yourself, is this actually the same nation? Imagine where you see soldiers training in Ijaw land with Ijaw language. Would that not be unsettling to every other part of Nigeria? Imagine where you see soldiers training in Ogun or Osun or Ijabode in Yoruba. Is that not going to be unsettling to them? We are not yet a regional government in this country. We are still as a nation. Yet, this is happening. You ask yourself, how is this happening? Again, on that note, I will leave us to ponder with that, and we will leave this conversation this evening with the words of the prophet. So if the prophet is able to speak, we might actually understand why.
This December shall be a December that God shall decorate you with money.
who left the Mother Earth. On that note, I will say thank you very much, everyone, for joining me this conversation. Because at the end of the day, what I do on this platform is to explore the things. Let's discuss things in a civil manner, explore these things that's been happening, because many of us don't like it. Nigeria is not working. Nigeria, we believe, until we do the fundamental restructuring, the fundamental restructuring, which would see us go back to saying we will have a referendum to say this is how we want to be governed. And let us say we want those who want Nigeria to continue can go ahead and continue with a failed system. But those who want Nigeria to restructure into the normal regional governance that we had in 1963, using these current states and regions, meaning the current realities, to actually be a bedrock of its own new system. That is going to, in my estimation, that is going to work. And that is what I believe. Something that can see the old eastern region within this and the southwest coming together and forming a very, very formidable force. Because that, until we do that, any other thing we are doing will be, as they say in the pidgin English parlance, na patchy we they do. But until we get serious and begin to look at how either we dismantle or we go back to regional government. Because you can see the video of M.I. Obara I played to us before. The only reason why you can see men like M.I. Obara being able to do those things he did within a short period of time with less resources is because he's a man that is committed to doing the things that would propel his people. He was doing all those things. He didn't have a house of his own. But today, you elect someone, a mayor councillor, or even a local government chairman. Before he does a single thing, he already demolished the house in his village and start building new one. I mean, someone here on this platform wrote before about changing our narrative, changing the culture. It's something we must work with. We must work on it, because it appears the culture of make money by every means necessary is also hurting us too bad. These are things that I believe we can change, but not the leaders that steal the future of their children, not the politicians that kind of loot and they steal like there is no tomorrow, that tomorrow will never come, that the world's end today. It is abysmal. That is sickness in the brain. That is sickness. It cannot be nice. And I am looking for, a video that I wanted to play to us, because that video clearly explained what was happening here. The video is actually as a result of where someone was saying, these are men who, what they do is that they look at us. Let me see if I can find that video quickly. These are men that will look at us and they will just basically say, let me buy you over. And we would sheepishly, like Mumu, just like video I played us last week. Someone contesting an election. In fact, that video broke my heart, from Umbano, contesting an election, telling us, oh, he knows language, and with language he's going to win the election. And sadly, you and I allowed him, he won that election. Now he won that election. That means he has won. If you didn't join me last week, let me play that video once more for you. So for you to understand where someone boastfully says he's going to bribe you, he's going to give you money, and he's going to win the election. And actually, you allowed him, called out in the banner, not to vote him on the premise that
by Saturday night, I will come with my results of this Alambano to your house. And when anything like, and let me tell you, we believe in finishing the job.
Yes.
We'll go into the grassroots, give them the language they understand. What they understand is money. Ego beke. You give them ego beke. I get our people ego beke, and they will go and vote for us. Nobody can match us. Nobody can defeat us. We are going to vote for APC. Your Excellency, it is your duty to go to the court or wherever to recover the power. I don't care how you do it. We are following you because we believe you have the capacity. So we are voting for APC 100%. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Complacent followership.
Is very simple.
A followership that is satisfied with collecting 500 naira to vote, 1,000 naira to vote, about
okay.
Complacent followership.
Again,
a followership that is satisfied with collecting 500 naira to vote, 1,000 naira to vote, a bar of soap, a tin of milk. On that basis, he surrenders his franchise. It means we are not conscious of our civic duties and responsibilities as a nation. Majority of the common people that are complaining now are also contributing to the destruction of the country in collaboration with the colleagues of the elites. While the elites are losing the treasury, they are hailing them. Today, if a northerner were to be caught stealing 10 billion naira and he is taken to court, believe me honestly, you will see northern organizations, northern elites, some of them saying that he is being persecuted because he's a northerner, because he's a Muslim.
We also saw it in southern Nigeria.
We had such an incident. I can give you, if you give me time. A former managing director of a bank in Nigeria, in northern Nigeria, in between his wife, his house girl, his younger brother, himself, stole 3 billion naira directly from shareholders' money.
Allegedly.
Yeah. No. Just wait. He was taken to court. And he appeared only once. Before the next adjournment date, two prominent Islamic scholars, a member of Jama'at al-Nasr al-Islam, and an elder went and visited the president, interceded on his own behalf. By the next adjournment date, the Attorney General entered a nolle prosequi in his own favor. 4 years after...
And that was the end of the case.
4 years after, I saw his name with OON, without being extended presidential political diplomacy, without degazetting his name. Until they degazetted his name, I still have the gazette. He has not been degazetted. 9 years after, another governor from South, maybe he was looking for GCON because this one was giving OON for stealing 3 billion naira. That southern state governor stole 30 billion naira. He was also charged to court. South Elders Forum, members of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Secretary General of Khan visited Mr. President in the villa. I still have the video on NTA. They said, Mr. President, our son being persecuted. The money said to have been stolen by him. Does that money belong to the federal government or to the state government? And the president said the money belongs to you. They said he is our son, we have forgiven him. And that was the end of the story. As if Islam and Christianity is about stealing and looting the public treasury. Until we dispose of this mentality of using religion to intimidate government and to intimidate other people, we have a very, very long way to go.
this madness stop? When shall this madness stop? You know, because at the end of the day, sometimes I just think, some people go into the government house, they finish, they will steal everything. Look, this is on Channels TV, for instance. You see what they do. You see what they do when people have left office, still wanting so much to steal from these people.
So, Raj, let me help you there. Befitting mansions built for them by the state government in their state capital and either in Lagos or Abuja. And the minimum recommended is a 5-bedroom house. Then furniture allowance for befitting furniture of the aforementioned property, and this furniture will be changed every 3 to 4 years. 100 million as gratuity, 100% of current basic salary of the incumbent and deputy. That is full salary for former governor for life. Brand new Jeeps and Hiluxes, which will be replaced every 3 years. 300% basic salary for car maintenance. 300% of basic salary for utilities, NEPA, water. 5 million monthly to pay for steward, cook, driver, personal aid, and security. Female security is also required for spouses. 100% of basic salary for entertainment. Medical allowances within the country and overseas for an unspecified number of family members for life. And it even applies to those who have more than one wife. I rest my case.
Let me ask you this.
How continue? How long? The thing is just unbelievable. The whole thing is unbelievable sad. I mean it. It's the elite, the middle class, every single one is everyone, the middle class. They want your vote. They give you tomato. You go and vote them. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Why would you vote for them? Why? Why can't you just, even if you take that money, why can't you just do the right thing? I was expecting that the people of Mbana would have punished the man that came on stage bragging that he can do, or rather he will win the election. He doesn't care because he has understood the language of the people. You know what that means? When someone tells you he understood the language of the people, he is confident that he can go to that election and win. And he went to that election and he won. That's a violation of every one of us. On that note, people, I will say once more, have a wonderful restive evening. Join us tomorrow, 4 o'clock Nigerian time on this platform. We will be having everyone who is contesting for the leadership of Ohaneze that is coming to an end, 10th of January 2021. They will be coming on this platform by the coalition of various Igbo groups. They will be on this platform to take questions from and interact with the public. It has never happened before, but by the grace of God, it's going to happen this time around. On that note, I will say, remain blessed, stay strong, and observe the social distancing where and when necessary. I am still Mazezoke. Remain blessed and good night.